word that you said, by the way, on that. It's like, I wouldn't want my daughter in a bathroom with some person that claims to be or identifies as a different sex hanging out in the bathroom while my little daughter's trying to go use the public bathroom. Like, no.
Yeah, well,
No.
they're so concerned about, quote unquote, protecting the mentally disabled, to put it nicely, which you could argue is just perverted, but they're so careful to protect those people that they don't even care about protecting the children.
It is a perversion. Whether you think of a perversion as positive or negative, it's still a perversion.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be careful to not say something that, would be construed as offensive. Well, the problem is the truth hurts. And a lot of people can't handle the truth.
I don't think it's offensive because it is a perversion. Look at the definition of perversion and then tell me how it's not perversion. That's what I'd like. Not you specifically, but others. But yeah, you don't have to say it if you don't want to, but I will.
Well, I mean, I'm saying it, but I'm trying to say it as I'm trying to speak the truth as in love and kindness as much as humanly possible.
I am too, but it's still perversion. Whether you
say it and that's the thing is, like, some people will say, like, well, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. And I would argue that sometimes it's not, because it doesn't matter how you say it. Sometimes just saying it is what people have a problem with. Like, how much nicer can you say it, and then people will still have a problem with it? Because, like I said, the truth hurts, and a lot of people can't handle the truth, and they run from it. And that's why they silence people and cancel people and disown people, because they can't face the truth. They're afraid of it.
You can stop me and tell me we can talk later if you need to. Just know that you can say that. I have no problem, and I understand. But I was going to say that the whole thing with the person showing up and starting what I would call a political sort of debate on your live stream, and then them not getting the results that they wanted, is exactly what I thought happened. I don't know how you take that or what you see, but that's how I viewed it as I listened to it. They come to your stream to talk to you about some political debate shit.
Well, honestly, I don't even know how the topic came up. I think it was
they started it. And they brought it to your stream, your live stream, on your live call, on your, so.
Well, that's the thing is, I'm fine talking about things. It's just, all I ask is, like I said, don't be a hypocrite, in that if you're allowed to say what you think and feel, then just have the respect to allow me to say and think what I feel without.
That's what I said.
Without condemning me for it. That's it.
That's what I said. I don't know if you caught everything I said. That it was to come to your stream, on your live stream on audio, and brought a debate to you, and then when it didn't turn out the way they wanted, then things changed. It should have been like off air, off live stream, or private, or it was just weird to me. Using your stream to use as a platform, can you see what I'm saying on that? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think that was the intention. I think the conversation just kind of came up and ended up going downhill.
In the conversation, I was a fly on the wall kind of thing. If that makes sense.
I honestly didn't go back and review it, and the only reason it's posted is because I do just post all my games as a record. But if that person were to tell me, like, hey, kindly, I'd rather not have that discussion on stream or on record or show it or whatever. But like, if that's the case.
But that's what they did, so that's not even something they considered. They were like, I'm going to do this on stream, like live on their stream.
I guess what I'm saying is, if they want to like have the conversation in private, then have the conversation in private. But don't shut me down, disown me, cancel me, silence me, and then ask me to remove what I'm trying to say, because like you're not going to silence me on my channel. Out of respect, I will remove videos, and I have, for people who have kindly asked me to, but understanding that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've come to me like, look, I'm asking if you can kindly remove this, but that's people who are willing to talk to me and be respectful and not.
I'll just give you how looking in from the outside, how it appears.
And if you notice, like, I didn't title that video anything about that conversation because it had nothing like, I was just trying to pip. But if people watch that and hear the conversation, they're able to hear the conversation. And I didn't play it back. Maybe I sound like a bad person. I don't know. No. I didn't play it back.
No.
All I know is I was just staying true to my convictions and speaking what I believe and trying my best to not be offensive in what I believe, but what I believe is apparently offensive.
You weren't offensive, though your answers were not what they were wanting. That was what was offending them. It didn't have anything to do with what you did, how you did, or anything. It was more that,
This game is going down the drain here.
It was more of a, it was brought to you. You didn't come find it. But I didn't hear anything you said that was disrespectful or hateful, or you just said, hey, this is what I think, and that was all you did. You stated your thoughts like they stated theirs.
I had something similar happen with other people that I played with, like a while back. It was like many months back, possibly a year ago, and they were all cool with playing with me on my team and everything. But once that similar topic came up, it got really bad, like with the way they were. Like, not only did they did the same thing, they shouted me down with their opinions, shut me down, like shut me off, deleted me, blocked me, all that good stuff. And then I made the mistake of trying to like I actually went to their stream and tried to like ask them like what was up with that, like why did you act that way, like why are you gonna hit me with all this stuff and then like silence me, whatever. I called them out on it. And then it just got way worse from there. They just like, I mean, they're talking about hate speech. Like, they expressed on their stream, which they're able to do, how much they hate me and what I think and everything like that. And it was crazy. So now I realized, like, if that's how people are going to be, then I'm not going to entertain it. Or like try to there's no point trying to like justify myself or prove my point or explain myself or vindicate myself or whatever, because people who don't want to hear things don't want to hear things. Like, if they shut me down and blocked me and silenced me, it was because they don't want to hear it. So in that case, I just didn't respond.
You know that the Twitch streamer, I'll just put that there. I'm pretty sure you know who, but yeah. That's the thing over on Twitch too, by the way, that a lot of things I told you, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, that things are changing. They become exactly what that person was arguing or trying to do, whatever they were trying to do, whatever it was they were trying to accomplish. That Twitch is all about that now. Like, your views would suffer over on Twitch, if that makes any sense to you, what I'm trying to say. I'm trying
Meaning you're free to say what you want as long as you agree with this particular thing. And if you disagree with it, then you don't have the right to speak. We shut you down.
And I told you that a lot of people are wanting to leave Twitch and go to probably YouTube, and that is part of the change of rules that they've had over there.
I will say it's not much different on YouTube, but it's probably not nearly as bad, I'm guessing.
No, it's not as bad. No, it's not as... Twitch is all about, like, if you were to say anything, like, let's say, against the LGBTQ people, you would instantly be reviewed and possibly banned off of Twitch. It's just Now, am I homophobe at all? No, I don't care. I don't care what your sexual preference is. I do not care. If you, whatever you are, that's great. It doesn't matter if I'm going to be friends with you, not friends with you. So I just put that out there to you. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't discriminate when it comes to that. I treat all people the same.
You do. You do.
The times that I will say this though, like, I don't like treat everyone the same, but I have had experiences like I've always been the kind of person that, like I said, like stood up for the underdog, stood up for the people who were bullied.
I've seen that. And I've seen it. Like, just I've been around you for what, couple of months now or more, and I've seen it.
Well, that was my mentality of, like, you know, like growing up in high school. And it's because I said, like, you know, I could relate to being bullied and stuff. And obviously everyone can to some degree, but I'm not going to lie. I've been on both sides. I've been on, I wouldn't say I was like a bully. I was never like a bully that, like, you know, like the bullies that kind of like get violent or say they're going to hurt you or something. But I've picked on people before. I've been the person who's been like, you know, teasing someone, but it was never with like malice, never really to like really hurt someone, just tease people. Some people can handle it, some people can't. I can handle being teased, so I don't see it as a big deal sometimes. Right. But point is, I've been on that side. I've been on the side that's been teased or picked on, bullied, made fun of, you know, and so I always gravitated towards people where like let's say like the overweight girl that people didn't talk to. So I'd sit by her in class and be her friend. The kids in the wheelchairs that were in school that were disabled or handicapped, you know, I would go around them and be friendly with them. Kids that were nerds or picked on, you know, that type of thing, I would be nice to them and stuff like that. So when I came across people that were, I was friends with whoever, like, I didn't discriminate. So sometimes I hung out with the rebels, the bad kids, the goth kids, the outcasts, whatever, the you know, whatever you call them, like the nerds, the whatever,
the nerds, dweebs,
whoever, like anybody. I was just always open to being cool with anybody that wanted to be cool. So point is, when I made friends with people who were gay, a lot of times, like I felt like, hey, these people are not as accepted. And so I would always say, hey, you know, leave them alone, accept them, love them just the same, treat them just the same. And I would hang out with them. Even to the point where sometimes I found myself going to places that I wouldn't normally go, like fetish clubs and parties and those environments where I've seen all kinds of very weird things. Usually if I ever went to those things, it's probably because I was like with a girlfriend or like, you know, a girl that brought me there, because, you know, a lot of girls are very like, are more comfortable hanging out with quote unquote gay men because they feel less threatened because they're not constantly getting hit on by guys. And if the gay guys hit on them, it's more in like a playful, girly manner. So a lot of girls, I don't know about a lot of girls, but there are definitely those groups of girls who hang out with gay guys because they seem to feel like they're hanging out with the girls and they feel like they're not getting sexually harassed or treated a certain way.
That's exactly, because they know that they're not going to come on to them. They can just have a platonic friendship, just straight up, just chill.
Okay, so I would go with girls and hang out with those places, and so there'd be a lot of gay guys, and I would treat them the same, and I'd, you know, even talk to them and be friends with them or whatever, hang out with them and treat them exactly the same. But I will tell you, it's almost without fail that I can tell you, I could think of maybe one where this didn't happen, but it's almost like the same thing would eventually happen. It didn't matter if I was friends with these people for days, weeks, months, or even years. Some people I was like really close to and friends, but eventually, inevitably, there would eventually come a time where we'd be hanging out and they'd be like, oh, here, let me give you a drink. Oh, here, take a shot of this. Here, smoke this, take this, whatever. Get me like, you know, under the influence of something. And then eventually it would turn into like them trying to put their hand on my thigh or make a move on me. And I would feel like a girl who's being sexually harassed. And on one hand, I'm sitting here thinking like, I got to love these people, accept them. And on the other hand, I feel like makes me feel uncomfortable. They know I'm not gay, but they're trying to make me gay, or they're trying to take advantage of me, and they're trying to do something to me that is against, you know, like this, not who I am. And so that's when I came to the conclusion and realized like, okay, well, I can love them, accept them, and treat them equally, but I need to put up a boundary in like how close I get to them, because this seems to happen every time, you know, eventually. And so then, you know, then I would have conversations with them, and then you start talking to them, and, you know, I would always, you know, be friends with people, have deep conversations, and like, oh, when did you know you were gay? When did you realize you were gay? Well, I realized at a very young age. Well, how old? Well, I was like 10 years old, right? Oh, okay. Or 10 years old. That's kind of early to figure out. Yeah, I always knew since I was a kid. Well, when was your first, like, how did you know? Like, well, I had my first sexual experience when I was like 10 years old, and that's how I knew I was gay. Okay, so you were 10. How old was the person? Oh, it was, you know, it was my next door neighbor, and, you know, and that's when I realized I was gay. How old are they? 25. And then it's like, so in other words, you were molested, and that's how you found out you were gay? Well, I don't say, yeah, I guess I was kind of abused and molested. But that's when I knew that, you know, and you start to talk to them and you find out that a good majority of people who identify with that lifestyle became that way because somebody molested them when they were a child. Not all, I'm not going to say all of them, obviously, there's different reasons, but a good majority have. And sadly, a lot of those people end up doing the same thing to somebody else, whether it be a friend, uncle, cousin, whatever. But you start to get to the roots of their quote unquote, I knew ever since I was a kid. And you find out it's because, you know, they were sexually assaulted, raped, molested, or something like that.
Yep.
And unfortunately gone on to do it to somebody else in a lot of cases.
That's one thing you just said right there that I think a lot of people don't get. I think I caught myself, I hope, is that when you went to those places, that they would come on to you. But if you were to go to a heterosexual bar and you are female, you don't get those males that are going to be trying to touch you. They may try to talk to you and sweet talk you, but they won't start trying to, rub on you. And that's a second, third kind of thing.
Well, like at the last gig that I played, there was a woman there who, as I was playing, she kept touching me as I was she was on the side of the stage, and she kept like touching me, Ghostface. And then she was like smacking me on the butt, and she was touching me while I was playing, and it was like making me uncomfortable. And I was really annoyed, and I was like, man, if this wasn't a woman, I'd, you know, consider kicking her on the side of the stage.
But being so sex controlling.
But then someone said to me, like, now imagine it was a guy doing that to a girl. They'd have their, you know, they'd get beat up or they would get arrested, like right there on the spot.
But you see what I'm saying on that? It's just usually doesn't happen too often. Unlike those other bits, they're almost like you're saying, like they're trying to like get you to convert over.
Yeah, it's all like, hey, we just want to be loved and accepted, and you know, have the same rights as you, but like, no, they lobby to change laws and they try to convert people to them. And like, there's literally a channel on YouTube called Queer Kids Stuff, and it's a show for little kids.
That's the name of the channel?
Yeah,
Queer Kid Stuff?
I think
That's the actual
so.
name.
I think so.
Wow.
And it's exactly what you think. It's little like cartoons, and it's trying to make kids gay. It's really what it is. Well, it's got like
that's not cool.
You know, the stuffed animal bear is gay and all that. I mean, but just look at Disney and all that stuff. Every cartoon now has a gay character, and every sitcom, every show. I don't really watch TVs and movies, but everything you watch now has like it's all pushing that agenda.
But I think that's also a business. Just like DVD's even done. It's all about catering to that group.
Yeah, well, if you saw the I didn't watch it, but I saw the intro to it, and it was the whole DBD anniversary stream. And only gay people were allowed to play in the games. I didn't end up watching it, but that's what they said in the very beginning. It was all about the only players. It was all about gay content creators. So imagine they did that with only like white straight content creators. Right? Imagine they did that. I mean, just look at, there's like Black Entertainment Television. Imagine there was a channel called White Entertainment Television.
Hey, that sounds kind of sexy. Wet.
This Ghostface just camped me to death on first hook.
That's wet, right? W-E-T? Sounds a little moist, man. Sounds a little moist.
What MMR am I in right now?
The highest.
I'm Ash 3, which means I can't even like. I have one tip. I don't know what I'm at right now. I know I just depipped. Well, good luck to them. If he just camped me like that to death on first hook, why didn't they just do gens and leave? So me doing the whole Bubba thing, putting the flags on the hook and face camping, like, I'm just being silly. I'm not doing any hate speech. I'm not. You know, I didn't even say my opinions or thoughts on anything in those games. I'm just being silly and going with the whole, like, you know, if DBD and everybody's allowed to celebrate June and they want you to celebrate June and Pride Month and all that, and then, like, am I wrong for playing along and celebrating June? I think that's where the whole original conversation started from. I'm not sure.
I see. Oh, that is right. You're right. I remember now. Is that your title of your stream? Yep.
It was like face cam. There was a Bubba celebrates, cross-dressing Bubba celebrates Pride Month.
But it was the Pride thing. Yeah, the Pride Month thing. And you had in your title.
But everybody's, the whole official DBD live stream was celebrating Pride Month.
Yes, they were. Like
it's crazy though.
Business decision.
Yeah.
When they do that, it's really, they're just catering to that group to get them to know that they're accepted by this game and the community that they can come around to.
It's a whole lot of pandering.
Yes, business, money. Yes, money. But there's some people out there that are against it, and there's companies that are against the whole thing as well.
But I just find it interesting because you think about it, it's like we have Memorial Day for the soldiers who fought for our freedom, right? We have Memorial day for the people who died to fight for the country's freedom so that we can have the freedom to be straight or gay or whatever you want to be. And we had Memorial Day, but we have the entire month to celebrate for being sexually deviant, to put it kindly. So it's quite interesting. But, you know, we're talking about people and we're talking about the world, and people are messed up and the world is messed up. So oh no, he messed up. Scottish, no, I expect more from you. Expect better from you. Oh, he's getting face camped to death. Wait a minute, none of them had hooks except for me. Literally, I was the only one.
But also remember that Memorial Day is not just the military. Memorial Day is to anybody that's died. And then you can celebrate it based on why or how they died, and the reasoning behind it. But it's Memorial Day is just about the death, people that have died, remembering the people. That's what I think Memorial is.
Teabagging. That's right. Give some tea bags.
You don't see it that way?
I don't know. I don't know the exact.
I don't think it's just military. It's just if you died, if someone's died, then they become memorable through Memorial Day. You remember them. You remember the dead. My grandparents. I miss my grandparents. I remember them like all the time. I don't have to have a day. I remember them all the time. Does that make sense too? Aren't you the same? You don't have to have a specific day you do that on. You can do that any day of the week you want. Right?
I guess. I don't know what the technical definition of the...
Memorial. Remembering the dead. Memorial. Memory of the dead. That's exactly what it is. That's what I'm saying, though. You don't need a day to remember your grandparents or great-grandparents, do you?
Nah.
You need a specific day? Exactly.
No, it's the same as like Mother's Day, Father's Day.
Exactly. So it's just a day that people created, which causes all these things to happen. People to think the way they think.
We're just in a time in the world where things that are good are called bad and things that are bad are called good. And that kind of summarizes this time period we live in.